So hi, how are
Hi,
you
Ellen.
doing?
Very good. And you?
Very good. Ready for a chat. Was looking forward to this week.
Yeah, me too. How was your week?
Um, yeah, interesting. A few really trying to notice what keeps coming up for me. And sitting in some sort of reflection of maybe the ego. Yeah, lots of sort of small
Interesting.
things, daily practice, basically. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
journaling, meditating back to those practices quite strongly. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's been helping. So, how about you?
Cool. Yeah, I've been back to the basics as well, like my routine, making sure I get into flow state daily. Um, and then I've had some interesting synchronicities
Yeah.
and also some challenges that reminded me a lot like your challenges last week, where
Mm.
you alchemize them into a little magical experience. So, yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to your week because it seems like every time you have something happen, the following week it happens to me.
But I
So,
wonder if that's because we are more aware of that that's going on then. I don't know.
and
It's
so I'm noted most likely that's where my attention's at. So,
funny
yeah,
thing for me, those tests that
yeah.
I've had come up this week are almost like, oh, you think you've got it figured out? Here you go.
Oh,
Not
try
so
again.
figured out.
Well, I had a couple of them. So even had that moment too of like, oh, you think it's that easy, huh?
Yeah.
So,
So I was thinking
yeah.
that that was possibly ego tests, but I don't know if that really is what it. Well, in this case, for example, last week I
Hmm.
felt like I had shining week class of practice, and the kids
Great.
were really with me. I left the school feeling high, and I almost was like so proud. It was almost like this. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
well, that was total opposite this week.
Of course.
Actually, that's not entirely true. What's more
Hmm.
true is the first class went really well because I was in the moment of creating um, the conversation around the lesson that I give at the beginning of the class was impromptu. It was
Okay.
inspired. It was guided from the circumstances. And that class went really well. It was like I was being really
So you
in
were
my
flowing.
zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Yes.
not sort of planning or anticipating, and that's not really who I
Yeah.
am. I'm much more of in the moment. Let's see how this works out.
Channeling it. Totally.
But because I repeat the process with each class, so I go
Hmm.
through it 4 times, I felt
Oh,
by the fourth one, I was lying almost. It wasn't necessary. It was like, oh, do I need to repeat this same class, same lesson or lecture or wisdom when really they were not giving me that cue?
I always found when I was in the classroom, I could never teach the exact same class. It was always slightly different. Like it could be the same vocabulary, same everything, but with one group I would teach it one way and another group a completely different way.
Totally. But this was
Yeah.
wanting to get the same point across with almost the same
Methodology. Yeah.
method. Well, inspiration that was not given to me by them. It was given to me but from another class. And so it kind
Mhm.
of became a lot heavier, harder to
Mhm.
explain. And then of
Totally.
course the practice of being mindful and the guided meditation, we had visiting families
Oh,
coming. We
disruptions.
had
Okay.
disruption. We had the kids just really struggling. And I was really practicing pause. What a pleasure. Really trying to go back
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
my work. And that
Okay.
certainly helped. But then I
Uh-huh.
also had the help of the students who were trying to explain to their peers, their classmates, this is what the practice is, because there's a lot of blame, oh, he's not letting me practice, he's making a noise, and then that becomes a disruptive domino effect among everyone.
Right.
Until
Oh, but they
one
even
kid,
realize that's the
yeah,
practice, the
one
distraction.
kid decides,
Yeah.
you are not hearing the message. The message is, this is the practice. Like,
How old
wake
is this kid?
up.
Oh my God, he's so wise.
I will tell you who it is later on. I don't want to share, but he
Well,
is
you don't have
so
to name
wise.
him, but like, how old
And
is
I
he?
was just like, thank you so much, because they're not hearing it from me right now.
Yeah. I
No,
think, did I teach him? I think I know who it
you know
is.
who he is. You will know who he is. But I
Yes.
just needed it not to be me, because I
Uh-huh.
was also struggling in my uh knowledge, in what I was trying to share. It needed to
Mm-hmm.
come from those that have cracked it, to
Mm-hmm.
explain how they cracked it to the people sitting next to them. There is,
Yeah.
it's a heavy, it's a hard, it's a
And
challenging.
the thing is, they are kids. So to
Yeah,
actually get them to crack it is just amazing.
yeah. And so then we did it again. And instead of what was going to be 4 different smaller practices, we just really managed to finish the class with the one practice.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
and I was in my own practice of patience,
Yeah.
slowing down. And
Mm.
so, yeah, it's just last week, and it comes up a lot like that. I do feel high
The
off.
waves. The waves.
I've grown. I
Mm.
get this. And then all of a sudden, I'm presented with the exact same thing, slightly worse,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
not able to crack it as much or as easily as I.
That's the training, the practicing, you're fine tuning, you're
Yeah.
sharpening that pencil.
And something I heard around that was that even though you think that you've lost the connection to source or whatever it was that made you feel like you'd grown in some way,
Mm-hmm.
you have grown, you've up
Of
leveled.
course.
So it's like you've gone to the next level, and so you feel small again, or that you've forgotten it all, or but it's just
Yeah, because it's probably that junior varsity example. Like
exactly. You
you're now
remember
on the
that? Do you want to
varsity
explain
team.
that?
So
Do you
yeah.
want to,
Huh?
do you want to explain that? You remember how that goes?
Well, more or less. Like if you're the best player in junior varsity, you get bumped up to varsity and you're the worst now.
Yeah.
So you've up leveled, but you still have your work to do.
And so, yeah, I was just really practicing smiling through it, not feeling the frustration of it, not being that teacher that quits on them, really, okay, leaning into, this is for me. This is for me.
Yes. Isn't it? What a
Is it
pleasure.
though? Is it really? So,
Okay.
yeah, that school has been quite like that this week.
Your your laboratory, your place to experiment.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well,
Um,
so yeah, what I've been focusing on is waking up, and even before I get out of bed, doing my coherence breathing to get into flow state. So that is equal breathing, like an equal inhale, equal exhale, like 5 to 6 seconds. So I've been using my phone to pace it because like a meditative breath is usually a lot slower
mm,
and a lot calmer. And if I were to do that in bed, I'd probably fall back asleep. So I really wanted to just up the energy from the beginning of the day, get into that energetic, joyful expectation type mood. Um, and then I would go to the gym. And because I was in like this high vibe already, I was noticing, um, I don't know, the notifications on my phone were roomy quotes.
mm.
Or if it was an Instagram video that I didn't care about, it came in at the hour 19:19. I'm like, oh, that's an angel number for me. And one day on the way to the gym, I saw like a bird fly and land in front of me, and then another one, and then another one, like at least 5. And I was like, okay, got to look this up. What are birds landing in front of you? Like that's also a sign. Um, yeah, so just seeing signs and synchronicities because I was in that flow state. I was excited, I was happy. And then when I came back to get it to work, to sit down and work, Usually my watch was on. So if it was telling me to move, I'd get up and move. Or if it wasn't on, because I wasn't wearing it all the time, if I started to feel like the tension in my
Mm.
shoulders or neck, then I'd get up, uh, turn on music, dance for a little bit, or go to Eddie's pull-up machine, which used to annoy me. Now I love it because I get a hang from it. um, or stand up and do like a quick yoga flow, standing flow of warrior poses. Um, and then finish my day with going to bed, just doing my own little thing, like appreciating the day, and then imagining, like, wouldn't it be great if, and going into wish fulfilled, and then just falling off to sleep like that. So really going into those practices to have a good day. And part of the story about the birds landing, so I looked that up to find out what it meant. And of course, like it means blessings and big manifestations and opportunities, because you know the law of attraction. They always refer to when sailors are at sea and they see birds, like birds before land, they know an island is ahead of them.
Yeah.
That came up. And then I was listening to this Instagrammer that I like a lot, Haley Hoffman. She does tapping to clear energetic blockages, and she also talks about the law of attraction. And she said, like, to manifest with certainty, see your manifestation as a trip. Like you've purchased the ticket, you know you're going. So get excited when you're planning for it, but like just have that faith that it's coming. And then I got to thinking, like there is a saying, the happiest people are those who plan trips and never take them.
Yeah.
So maybe this is what it's all about, like the excitement of it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. Because we all know, like when we get it, we're like, what's next?
It's like
Yeah,
Christmas, isn't it? Like
yeah,
as a
yeah.
child, I was always so much more excited about the idea of Christmas and it coming up rather than the actual day of Christmas, you know, like.
Right.
But it's
Yeah.
funny that you
So,
say that. Oh, sorry, continue.
yeah. Well, so then like that was the good, positive, like upward spiraling of the week. But because I was using my phone to pace my breathing in
Mm,
bed in the
mm.
morning, um, one morning I opened my phone and I saw an email that just filled me with dread. And I was like, oh my God, this is going to be so frustrating. Oh, like I don't want to deal with this. So I remembered your story and I'm like, check yourself.
Yeah.
Just for the next 20 minutes, imagine it working out miraculously. Like it's solved. You don't have to do anything. It just miraculously works itself out. And so like at least my meditation was going to work. So I did that and I was just breathing and imagining it's all going to work out. It's ease and flow. It's going to solve itself. And lo and behold, later in the day, I go to tackle that problem and it was magically solved. It's like, it works. It
It
works. It
works. It
works.
really works. It really works.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so
So there
funny
are a
though.
few more.
Oh,
Huh?
there's a few more like that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So,
I just want to add.
yeah.
So you were going to bed. Funny, this is
Yeah.
how I see our synchronicities, not even knowing
Okay.
how they're panning out throughout the week. No,
Hmm.
I wrote in my journal, or I even said it to Simon, like this week, every night that I have got into bed, I have just felt like it was Christmas night. Like
Ooh, okay.
literally love it. Like
Yeah.
feeling
Yeah.
this. I made it, not like made it through the
The
day, but
joyful
like,
expectation, like
oh,
it's coming.
really? I
Yeah.
am actually not wanting it to be any different. I
Uh-huh.
live that life, like
One,
down to
yeah.
just even my pajamas, they're like 11
Perfect.
pound from Marks and Spencer's are nothing, but like just loving every single thing about those
Yeah.
15-20 minutes of transitioning into bed. And it's
And
just
I think
been
that's
so
my
magic.
conclusion of, huh?
That's just been so magic. Like it
Yeah.
feels so what magic of life really is. This is the
And
feeling I want to have forever. I don't need to create.
Right. And so when my conclusion was maybe this is what it's all about, like it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, and not really like it comes and it goes, but that
Yeah,
moment of, yeah, or you've made it, you're, and the appreciation. Like it can't just be like it's coming, it's also loving how far you've made it.
I think that we just need to really feel that where we are.
Yeah.
So what's really helped with that, and to
Yeah.
get to that place, is not carrying anything outside of the minute that I'm in. So in the
Mm-hmm.
past, some struggle with a child who was disruptive, let's use that word, which is the hardest challenge in a class,
Mm-hmm.
that does not define any other minute beyond that
Yeah.
moment in time.
Mm-hmm.
I everything is like shrugged off. Like I release it all as I walk through
You're
the
such a
day.
varsity player now.
And those are the things that I was just keep checking in with. Yeah, oh yeah, this is okay. I can rise to this because it's a temporary situation and it doesn't define who I am, my day,
Yeah.
my hour, not even my next 5 minutes from this moment
Mm-hmm.
onwards.
Mm-hmm.
And not bring it home, not share it at lunch, not name the kid again, or not make it anything
Oh
else
yeah,
other
let
than
it
what it
go.
is.
Mm-hmm.
Really letting it go,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and not thinking, oh, I've got them again on Monday, or oh, that's all a lie, that dread. Because I
That dread.
cannot
And that's where you
change.
check yourself and let it go like you do. Or you even go further and you say, wouldn't it be wonderful if, and you let like this magic scenario play out. And so I took that to, like I have these big looming issues that I need to deal with this year. And whenever they come up, I'm always like, not now. I can't deal with them. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm not facing them. But because of like that magical experience of what wouldn't it be wonderful if it just magically solved itself?
Yeah,
I let myself like play out those scenarios for these issues. Like, wouldn't it be wonderful if? And so, like, it allowed me to sit with them more and get more clarity about what I want with these things. Because before I was always pushing them away, like, I don't know what I want. I can't face them now. I'm
yeah,
not ready. But it gave me the courage to say, well, wouldn't it be wonderful
yeah.
if,
What's
and
the best
allow the
case
best scenario
scenario?
to play out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
not
then I was
just.
like, okay, I know what I want. I know what I want. Yeah.
And I think it's totally okay that in a moment you don't need to make that decision. It's an acknowledgement of right now, in this moment, I don't need to respond to this. Let me let it go. And
Oh,
then you
yeah.
create the
Yeah.
space to say, okay, best and worst case, best case scenario. Like I have no proof of this outcome. Let me
Yeah.
sit in the best possible scenario that this could play
Because
out.
what have you got to lose? Like the whole
Yeah.
9 months coming up to it, at least they're joyful and
Yeah.
you're happy. And then, okay, maybe it works out differently, but that's to your benefit as well. Like this or something better. But
And also going back to that idea of the trips, the people, I cannot tell you how many trips I have visualized, planned, looked at hotels for, and never gone on those trips. It's just a
yeah.
way of moving around the world in
But you
a
might
moment
still
in
go on
time.
them because you've planned them.
They
Like,
may still happen. I
yeah.
certainly know a lot about certain
Mhm.
countries that I've not yet been to from traveling
Yeah.
to it. But at the very beginning of this year, also, I set a really clear, what do you call it? It's not a, let me think, an expectation, I suppose. This year, I am going to go on this trip because of certain
Right.
circumstances. It's
Yes.
actually going to happen.
And
It's a
that is,
big trip. I don't know how that is going to play out, but I know it's going to happen. And I move
yes.
into that with total certainty. And
Hmm.
I do feel like I have handed it over to the universe to take care of that because I
Hmm.
don't need to know how it's going to work out. And I don't even need to
Okay.
plan it. Right
Yeah.
now it's certainly so far away. It's at the end of the year. So I don't feel there's a rush to be controlling any of it either. but I am allowing things behind the scenes to be taking place without me needing to know how that's going.
So I was given a box from my Secret Santa, and I decided to make it the
Perfect.
silver cure box, you know, from Feng Shui. It's not silver at all, but it's a box that I'm using for the silver cure. And I guess the silver cure is what you put in your travel and helpful people
Oh
bagua.
yeah, the opposite of corner of your wealth corner.
Yes. And
Yeah.
I kind of don't have that in my house, so it's towards like the back of my bathroom because I
Okay.
feel like part of my bathroom might be in that corner. So I put it in there, and what you do is you get your red pen and your red paper. And so like my big issues that I played out and I know what I want, I had to write them down as if I already had them. Like, I'm so grateful I have this. And you write it down on your paper and then wrap it in red string like 108 times. But I don't
Wow.
have red string. So if you don't have red string, you put it in a red envelope, which I
Mhm.
had. So I wrote these down. I'm so grateful I have them, put them in that box. And now that's like just a gesture of asking people, the universe, anyone to help
Yeah.
these situations play out with ease and flow. Like they're going to come into your life and they're going to help them happen.
Well, in that corner, in that space, I also put a picture of my mum who has moved on.
Is
And
your
she's like one of my helpful people who are
is your
those
angel.
managing
Yes.
the universe's systems to bring things
Yes.
my way. So you can
Yes.
also put a picture of someone who has moved on in that corner that you
Yeah.
feel,
I feel like it's weird in my bathroom though to have a picture of somebody. So
who cares? Well, but what's weird about it?
I
Oh,
don't
well,
want a picture of anybody in my bathroom.
okay. Yeah, I understand now. Um, you could put something that was owned by them that represents them.
Yes, I have
Doesn't
tons
actually,
of things like
yeah,
jewelry, etc. And I
yeah,
actually might put some of that jewelry in the box as
yeah,
well. Because they do say, like, if you want more time, put a watch in the box. Like, things can be symbolic that
yeah,
you decide to add to that.
definitely.
So,
Funny you did that this week as well, because I did my own manifesting money workshop with Alicia
right.
Kelly. I think she's called Eliza Kelly, an
Hmm.
astrologer. So I don't know that much about astrology, but she is one of the astrologers I would listen to all the time and watch on Instagram. I really rate what she has to say and how she says it. And so we did beautiful practice, which fundamentally was channeling your spirit wealth guide. So your money
Ooh,
spirit.
sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, I've never had this experience before because I don't feel like I channel direction in a way of question and answer. I don't hear questions. Oh, sorry,
Okay.
answers coming through. I
Okay.
feel like sometimes I can channel just through what I'm sharing with somebody else. Like conversation will be felt like, oh, where did that idea come from? Oh, that was
Right.
very wise, Ella. Where did that knowledge come from? Kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
But not sort of sit and channel somebody else. Like I've
Yeah.
not
If
had
I were to
that
ask you
experience.
a question and you
Yeah.
would find life and spirit guide,
And
no.
it also, they do say it's very hard to do that because you're the vibration of your question and the vibration of the answer are different vibrations. So you can't always
Oh.
come in with a question and it be answered. You don't hear it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, what the situation that happened to me on Friday when I was doing it was I started nodding and shaking. My head was out of control to begin with. Like,
Weird.
yeah, I was really like, wow, this is strange. And
So
then,
did it feel like a spirit or something was moving you or
yeah,
what?
it wasn't me, but I
Oh
wasn't,
my God.
I wasn't preventing it either. It was
Yeah.
just strange that this started happening. Elisa guided us through the practice. So I was really trying to follow instructions. And with
Yeah.
certain things like this,
Interesting.
I think sometimes I try to be too in control of it. And this time I
Okay.
just was like, I'm surrendering. I'm just loving all this light that's coming down. This feels really good. And just really, I
Ooh,
couldn't stop smiling, could not stop smiling.
okay.
And then she said, so ask what the name of your money spirit guide is. And I just blurted out Mabel. Now, for all my
Oh,
family,
oh, interesting.
Mabel is my granny on my dad's side. And she
Okay.
was, in my eyes, she died possibly in my 20s. I didn't see her that frequently. I
But
was
that was a time when you probably needed a spirit guide the most.
totally.
Yeah.
Well, she wasn't there. She was alive at that time, but there was some time, like there was never this real. I would go and visit her, but it wasn't the same as my mum's mum. My relationship with my
Mm-hmm.
other granny.
Mm-hmm.
And I just couldn't believe it. I was like, are you sure? Are you not Aubrey, my other granny? And she was like, so I had the nodding of the head for a yes and the shaking of the head for a no. So it was really fascinating that I was able to ask questions, like in my mind, and receive answers, not through her voice. I only knew it was her
Yeah.
because the name just came out. And then,
Nice.
so yeah, it was beautiful. I felt really, really joyful to have been connected with her. And like, I just created this conversation with her afterwards, feeling like that is true. That is the truth.
Mm-hmm.
This workshop is annually, and Eliza had said that she had her spirit guide, Barry, come through for the second time. So it's not like you would always have the same spirit guide and that she's always been there all along, although I
Right.
actually feel like she has been
Mm-hmm.
now in hindsight, thinking about the conversation and stuff. Anyway, one of the other practices, I do really suggest you go and join her constellation club because it's full of resources and great content. But we
Okay.
also did a gratitude of what you have now, and then you write the next sentence as if you had it. So I'm grateful for my warm bed and my clean sheets that make me feel good going to bed at night. And then you write, I'm grateful for that house that I could buy.
Oh, yeah.
And
Building your
so
way up.
you
I
just,
like that.
every other one is truth and the other one is
Is
intentional, like what you want. And
I
you keep
like that a
writing
lot
it.
because that gives it foundation almost.
Yeah, because then what the universe doesn't know is which one is true and which one isn't, because you're already
Mhm.
feeling the love and the gratitude for the
I love
real
it.
ones. You
Yes.
then start bringing in that same feeling as you're writing for the ones that
Yeah.
are currently not in your
So
existence.
that's kind of how my wish fulfilled going to bed at night was. Like I was feeling grateful for my warm sheets and grateful for my house, but then grateful for the wish fulfilled, the things that aren't in my life yet.
Well,
But instead of writing, feeling or like
yeah.
imagining and falling asleep.
So then we cut them. Well, it's ideal is to get the strips of paper ready cut. And then as you write them, you fold them up and you put them in a beautiful vessel that you keep with you by you all year. So
Okay,
that
well, that's
could now,
almost your silver box cure. It's just a different
exactly.
vessel.
I'm going to
Yeah.
put a silver bracelet necklace around it or a bracelet because it's like a
Well, the
vase.
whole silver thing is because metal rules travel and helpful people. So if you're going to put it in that section, then you want the silver or the metal.
Yeah.
Put red. Like
Well,
red is the good one.
right now I'm
Yeah.
in my wealth corner. My bedroom is my wealth corner. So this could
Okay.
stay in that area or I could
Yeah.
move it over. In fact, a
Yeah.
lot of the things on the list, I'm kind of asking the universe for support with. And that has been fantastic this week. You know, last week I mentioned, oh, been writing down all the different ways that I'm supported.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mentioned
Yeah.
that like in my journal, I just kept writing down small gestures or just different ways. And that's growing so much in actually seeing that to be true. Like, wow, oh, I didn't need to do that. Oh, it's done for me. Oh, I'm really
There's your
grateful,
supporter.
like
Yeah.
to have
Yeah.
external
The
support
helpmate.
at play.
Yeah.
So it's been fun.
So I did have a big challenge as well. Um, a toilet seat broke, and I thought it was just the hinge. Like I could buy a new hinge and replace it, but then I saw that the hinge was connected to the lid and I had to buy like a whole new toilet seat. So I bought it online, it arrived. Um, and then I had to like take the old one apart, and Bryce was helping me. And here we are like trying to take the old screws out, and we like ended up giving up. Like they were so stuck. Um, and here I am with the new screw, looking at the new toilet seat, like, how is this supposed to even come together? And so I like pushed the new screw into the toilet seat and it got stuck. And Bryce was like, why did you do that? Mom, like, you don't. Why did you do that? And so here I am trying so hard to pull that screw out. Like, I even cut my finger, like, trying so hard. Um, and that was my moment of check yourself again. And I said, Bryce, look, I'm going to stop. You can keep trying if you want. I'm going to go make lunch. Um,
Walk
you do your
away.
thing. I'll do my thing. So I went down to make lunch and then I remembered, I was like, okay, ease and flow. This can be easy.
Yeah.
Like Bryce can miraculously pull it out. I can miraculously pull it out. Or I can take it back to Leroy Merlin and say, pull out that screw or give me a new one. This one's defective. Like, so after lunch was basically made, I made my decision. I'm going to go up. I'm going to try one time. It's going to come out really easily, or I'm going to Leroy Merlin after lunch. I went up, took that screw, and it popped right out. Like, it worked. Like,
It's
okay,
so like
Bryce was
that.
probably loosening it up the
Who
entire
cares?
time.
But that is
Exactly.
what you needed to
Yeah.
also see, that this
Yeah.
practice works. Walking
Yes.
away,
I don't care how it
pausing,
works, but it works.
it works. Keeping the
Yes.
joy levels up there, keeping the vibration up there, not
I think that's the
going.
only thing. Yeah.
It's just the not going to the reactive, oh
Yeah.
God, now what kind of, it's always
And that's the
stopping.
only thing you have to lose, really, is those 20 minutes leading up. They can be joyful or they can be shitty.
Yeah.
And if they are crap, then like when I would go and try again, it might have popped off, but I'd be like, "Ugh, finally, like instead of
Yeah.
all excited
Not
about
even
the magic."
appreciating the fact that that worked, you know, like,
Yeah.
wow, I love those stories. So
Yeah.
life is going well. Like someone stopped me, like I don't know who I was talking to. Oh, they said, oh, life's really tough for girls, right? There was this presentation about uh, yeah, teenagers and screen time and all stuff. And I was
Mhm.
like, actually, that's not right for me. I can't answer that with you. I don't feel like that right now. Like I don't feel like life is really tough because I'm
Mhm.
doing so much work on focusing on like how beautiful the world around me is. And
Shifting the
how,
perspective. Hmm.
and I'm now no longer willing to join in that conversation. I just won't have it. It's
Hmm.
hard because
Yeah.
so many people are going through that
Can
kind of,
only see that side. Yeah.
so it's just about breathing. So not only reflecting on, oh, I could have said that different. It's now I'm at a place where I'm not even saying that, you
Hmm.
know, choosing to
Yeah.
stop and breathe.
Like I know some people who are like that, and I have suggested, why don't you play that wouldn't it be wonderful if game? And like
I think they
they're
need to
kind
get,
of open to it, but
yeah, I feel like that's something that you will get to a conclusion on when everything else has not worked. And in fact, maybe next week I'll share how I got to this place, like my
Mhm.
rock bottom, as it were, which I've never had since 16. But the thing
Wow.
that made me really stop and take a good hard look at myself
Yeah.
was despising how I was projecting negativity out there,
Hmm.
like not
Hmm.
carrying it inside of me either. It
Yeah.
was just not liking how I was responding to everyday small things around me. It ends up not feeling good
Look
in
at
you.
you. You're so good now.
No, 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 no. Look where I'm from. Like it's every single day. there is no expertise in this. Like we are always,
No, it's
always
continual growth,
novices.
but like you've come a long way.
Come a long way in how I feel every single day about feeling like the luckiest person ever. And you know me, I don't have anything, special to it.
But
I
if
genuinely feel that. And my girls are
I think
healthy.
that's the point.
My family is good, like life is good.
Hmm.
And that's all we're striving for. We want a happy, fulfilling, loved, and joyful experience in this world. So it's
100%.
really just paying
Yay,
attention.
sounds like my week ahead is going to be even better than this week because yours is pretty good.
Let's see what shows up for us. It's like, bring it on. We're ready.
Yeah. So what are you going to try to work on next week?
Continuing to being in the moment, not anticipating, not projecting how anything might go, just really effortlessly gliding through whatever life throws at
Ease and flow. Yes.
flow. And you?
Yeah. The same. Basically, I'm going to continue with my daily practices because they really help me get
That's
into the
been
flow state.
funny that this week has been get up, sit on the mat, meditate 25 minutes, then I do my DI and stretch, and then I feel like I'm managing these thoughts.
It sets the tone for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
I think it really does.
And I've been practicing with Ellen in the evenings. We've been doing mindfulness every night, 5 minutes. So I feel like I'm being of support there. And journaling, lots of journaling.
Very good. Yeah, so I'm going to really keep working on those mini breaks throughout the day. A couple people have reached out to me saying like they work from home and they like the idea. I'm just curious, like, what are they doing? Are they doing what their watch tells them to do? Do they want a daily challenge? Let me know. Like, I would love to know.
Yeah. I'd love to work with anyone who wants to really build mindfulness as part of their way of moving through life, really owning the pause, paying attention to thoughts.
And that's my other practice this week, like appreciating that upward spiral, noticing the synchronicities, and then catching that downward spiral and shifting it. Like, wouldn't it be wonderful if? And allow the other scene to play out.
I think first it's just, oh, I'm in it. Let me not breathe through it. Not even necessarily, how can I go up? Let me not go down. I'm aware I'm going down. Like,
you catch yourself. You have to catch yourself. If you don't catch it, you're down.
But
like it doesn't matter how far down you spiraled. Just catch yourself at some point, and then and start imagining how would you like this to play out instead.
Yeah. Wonderful. Well, I can't wait to speak to you next week. And have a good week.
Yeah.
Take care.
Me too. Have a great week yourself.
And we'll see you soon, everyone.